Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of the Hunting Grounds. We are right back here in the redneck blind. I've got Dad behind the camera. We are looking to take a late season doe here on the Hunting Grounds property because we definitely need to take some does off this property. You can clearly see it in all my food plots. Even though we pretty much tripled the amount of food plots we have on this property this year, we just continue to grow and hold more deer. So we need to take a couple of does off here if we possibly can. This one's going to be donated out, so I'm really hoping I can tag a doe tonight with the CVA. But guys, on this week's episode, I've got another really cool hunt, and special to me because it's back down in Arkansas. You're going to go along with me as I go after my biggest bow buck in Arkansas ever. So take a look, hope you enjoy.
The Hunting Grounds is brought to you by Giotto Gear, Hercules Tires, Spy Point, Advanced Tree Stands, Walk On Archery, Nose Jammer, Dirt Nap, Hook Line Sinker Outdoors.
Alright, so I've just got everything out of the truck, got dressed up really warm, and on the drive out here I'm going to show you how cold it's getting here. There you go, starting to break up there. Everything's starting to freeze, and it's only going to get colder while I'm out here. Temperatures are going to continue to drop. It's supposed to be 8 degrees tonight. It's about 32 right now, 33, 32. And winds are supposed to kick up to about 30 miles an hour tonight. I don't have the mic on yet because it's kind of misting. I've actually got to drive into these people's property, the fenced in 8-foot tall fence, just to keep the deer out. Then I gotta go out a locked gate to get out of it. They do that to keep the deer out of here because the deer, I'm telling you, are so heavily pressured here. As far as pressuring vegetation because they're overpopulated. Nothing for them to eat left though. I mean, some of these deer look awful, so. This has already been an adventure. Everything was going so smooth. Got everything set up. Got the bow. I wanted to show you guys the fourth arrow camera arm. How easy that thing hole was to set up. It was all going so smooth. Then because I was going to film, just showing my setup before I mounted down the camera. On the camera arm, I had the camera loose. Did the very last thing, hung up my bag, and it knocked my camera. And it fell. You can see all the rocks. Well, over here, it fell about almost 30 feet to the ground. I think I had time to pray before it even hit the ground. And lens cover popped off. Actually looks a little crooked on there. Screen's a little loose, but the camera's still working, thank God. So either way, I was going to find a way to film this hunt tonight, even if it was with my cell phone. So we're set up. It's cold. I've got, let's see how much time I've got. It is 12. It is 2:12 right now, and got a good while here.
The Hunting Grounds is brought to you by Redneck Blinds, Bowtech, Eagle Seed, Popeyes of Northwest Arkansas, Shaybug Design, and by Mojo Outdoors.
Alright, well, I'm back out at what I call the lake property. It's just a small piece of 5 acres that I get to hunt here. You guys have heard me say it's a residential property. It's completely overran with deer. And the residents in this area have asked me to come in, thin out the deer herd. The park rangers are wanting deer herd thinned out because this borders up against a state park where they can't hunt. And so still doesn't mean it's easy to hunt. There are some good bucks in here. There is a bigger buck that I would like to take out. He's a good mainframe 10. He's probably 3.5, 4.5 year old in this area. And then there's a lot of does. If we get a big mature doe to come in here, we're going to take out that doe as long as I can get a great shot at it. Or if we just see an unhealthy deer. There's a lot of really unhealthy deer that I've seen in here already this season. And if we see one bad enough that needs to be put out of its misery, we'll put it out of its misery. But just a few days before Christmas here. I think we're about 2 days out, and it is rainy and it's nasty, but it's not going to keep me out. I got the umbrella up over my head. Self-filming. I think the deer are going to come in here. It's not real cold. It's chilly. We're going to get probably close down to that 40-degree mark before I get out of here this evening. So we'll just sit back and see what happens. I always see deer here. Just a matter of getting that right shot and having the right deer come in. So stay tuned. Hoping for a good evening. Maybe the big buck will come in or big Odell. We'll see. I've got the shakes really bad. And it's been 5 minutes since I shot that buck, and I still... I saw him run up after he kicked, and I reviewed the footage already. Come on, man. But I'm shooting down a very steep hill here, so even though I was hitting a little high, I know it's going to come out perfect. Man, I think it's a good shot, but I'm going to leave him for a little bit, and we'll see if we come back here a little bit later tonight and get some help. So if I can find that buck, that's my first bow buck for the season here in Arkansas. It is 2 days before Christmas. Oh yeah. Yes. All right, guys. So it's been what, I think. Let's check it. So it's 8:26 right now. I shot him around 5 o'clock. So we've had almost 3.5 hours so far for this buck. After reviewing the footage, I didn't realize it, but I had kept the video camera up, and I wish I'd gone longer. He had gone up there and watched him stop, and he actually wobbled a little bit and started backing up, and that's when I turned off the camera. So I sat there for a good 5 minutes after that without even saying anything. Then I did the narration, waited 20 minutes before I got a stand, then snuck out of there. So we're gonna go down there, see if we can find the Dirt Nap Gear broadhead attached to the arrow, hopefully still, and see what it looks like. And then from there we're going to trail it up, and hopefully that buck is not very far, but I think we've got a buck down somewhere. Hopefully he's right there where I last saw him on video. So hang on, we'll take a look. So that's looking pretty good, completely covered. Dirt Nap Gear broadhead is still perfect, even after crashing into all these rocks. That's a lot of blood. It's very bright blood, so looks like it was a little bubbly. I think I caught some long. Dad about had a heart attack. We had really good blood from the dirt nap. Came all the way up, had good blood till he bedded, and then he was bedded within sight of my tree stand when I got out of here. And we figured, knowing he comes from that way, we figured he'd be up that way. Figured, got up out of bed, which is uphill. We've been looking for, I don't know how long. How long?
About an hour.
Yeah. And we come back down, we're like, let's just go down low and see if he just stayed off the hill and went opposite of where he ever goes. And just gave Dad a heart attack. Let's take a look. I was about ready to cry. Are you kidding? After all that work. Woo! Hey. Yeah, he's been here a little bit. Tight racked. Really cool buck. Got good mass though. Look at those brows. Brows for days right there. He's just barely a 10.
Yeah.
You want to count him a 10. He don't have any kickers or nothing.
I got your giant.
Yeah. He's a cool buck. Doesn't have any width to him. God.
5-inch bases at least.
All right, so we finally found this buck. What a roller coaster ride. Not only this hunt has been, but just hunting on this piece of property. Just so many deer coming out here after picking up Dad and Brian. I don't even know how many deer we saw on the side of the roads. Just completely overpopulated. They got to get to the roads to eat, you know, around the grassy areas on the side of the road because it's a lot of hardwoods. Biggest buck that I've got on this property is right here. Definitely a good buck around this area. And we had walked our butts off this evening, decided to come back down, give it one last check on a different direction. And he's not 70 yards from the tree stand. The dirt nap gear broadhead did its job, made up for me shooting a little far back, and this buck didn't go anywhere. So definitely proud of this Arkansas buck, and definitely proud to take a deer off this property finally this season. This concludes my Arkansas buck tags this year, and couldn't have ended in a better way. Well guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. I know a lot of you guys probably relate how much time I had to put in the stand on this little piece of property to get the biggest buck on this piece of property, and then having to search our rear ends off to get it. But guys, make sure you subscribe to our weekly videos on Facebook and on YouTube. You can go to our website, tsg-tv.com. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. Make sure you guys are following what we are doing because we're working our rear ends off out here. So guys, until next time, go your way. Get a youth or new hunter involved in the outdoors, and as always, have a better than average day. Brian's not going to have an above average day when he drags his buck up the hill by himself.
No.
By himself.
Run!